Hello and welcome to this second look exploring session looking at the contention. That's how I'm going to call it from now on, actually. It's technically the contention between Liberality and Prodigality, but that's a really unhelpful title. I don't think it's a very sellable title. I don't think it's very exciting. And also the way the word liberality functions in the play is not quite how it fits the modern meaning of our idea of how the play functions. So from now on, I'm calling it the contention, because that is fun for me. That may not stick. I don't know yet. The contention between Liberality and Prodigality is a play we looked at. It wasn't quite a year ago, but it's, 10 months ago, and we really enjoyed it. It's a fiddly and complicated play, and so we're giving it a second look. We're going to be doing this twice. This time is just really a rough take at it to get a sense of how it flows. Some people are going to be practicing some things for when we return to it in a couple of weeks' time, but by and large, we're not switching our cameras on and off. We're just letting the action flow to get a sense of how it goes. So things are going to go wrong. It's going to be a bit chaotic, but hopefully we're going to get a sense of the energy and get some clues as to what we can go away and prep for next time. In the room, reading various parts, we have this wonderful selection of performers. And so today, reading Virtue and Dick Dicer is...
Rachael, Nicole, actor in New Jersey, playing the Dicer today.
And reading Postilion, Liberality and Dandaline is...
Briony, actor in Lincolnshire.
Reading Prodigality and second Suitor today is...
Alexandra, confused in every instance.
And reading Vanity, Constable and Tipstaff is...
Hello, I'm Francis Cox, actor living in Amsterdam.
And reading The Much Put Upon Money is...
Hi, I'm Eric.
Very cool. Very cool there. Reading The Host, Captain Welldone and Crier is...
Hello, I'm Helen Good. I'm a historian. And these are not the drones I was looking for. The droids. I'm confused.
Okay. Reading Prologue, Ostler, third Suitor and Clerk is...
Hi, Alan Scott, neither an actor nor an academic, based in Suffolk.
Reading Tenacity, Courtier and Sheriff is...
Hello, I'm Dan, and this is the way.
Reading Equity and Tom Tosser is...
Hello, I'm Lynn. I live in the northwestern United States, and it's 6:26 in the morning here, just so you know.
Best way to start the day, set you up. Reading Chamberlain, Fortune and Judge is...
Hi, my name's Elizabeth Amisu, and I'm an author based in Romford.
And I'm your host, Robert Crighton. I will be reading, hopefully, nothing unless I've cocked up, in which case I will suddenly be playing a part. That's the other reason why we do a first take on these second looks now, is to iron out any textual issues that we've got. So I'm actually mostly going to be typing away and making sure the script is accurate as we go. So without further ado, we're going to begin at the beginning. It's, I believe, a very good place to start. So we're going to rattle through this, hopefully at pace. Hopefully the energy is going to be fab. And we're going to start with the prologue.
The proverb is, how many men, so many minds, which maketh proof how hard a thing it is, of sundry minds to please the sundry kinds. In which respect I have inferred this, that where men's minds appear so different, no play, no part can all alike content. The grave divine calls for divinity, the civil student for philosophy. The courtier craves some rare sound history, the baser sort for knacks of pleasantry. So every sort desire especially what thing may best content his fantasy. But none of these our barren toy affords. To pulpits we refer divinity, and matters of estate to council boards. As for quirks of sage philosophy, or points of scurrility, the one we shun for childish years too rare, t'other unfit for such as present are. But thus this we bring is but to serve the time, a poor device to pass the day withal, To loftier points of skill we dare not climb, lest, perking over high, with shame we fall. Such as doth beseem, such as we be, such we present, and crave your courtesy. That courtesy, that gentleness of yours, which wanted is to pardon faults of ours, which granted we have all that we require, your only favour, only our desire.
In words to make description of my name, my nature or conditions were but vain. Sith this attire so plainly shows the same, as showed cannot be in words more plain. For lo, thus round about in feathers dight, doth plainly figure mine inconstancy. As feathers light of mind, of wit as light, subject to still to more mutability. And for to paint me forth more properly, behold each feather decked gorgeously, with colours strange in such variety, as plainly pictures perfect vanity. And so I am, to put you out of doubt, even vanity wholly within, without, in head, in heart, in all parts round about. But why I come, and why I hither come, and upon whom I daily do attend, in brief, to show you in a little sum, my special meaning is, and so an end. I come from Fortune, my most sovereign dame, amongst whose chiefest servants I am one. Fortune, that earthly goddess great of name, to whom all suits I do prefer alone, she, minding in this place forthwith to appear, in her most gorgeous pomp and princely port, sends me to see all things in presence here, prepared and furnished in the bravest sort. Here will she mount this stately, sumptuous throne, as she is wont to hear each man's desire, and whoso wins her favour by his moan, may have of her the thing he doth require. And yet another dame there is, her enemy, twixt whom remains continual emulation. Virtue, who in respect of Fortune's sovereignty is held, God wot, of simple reputation. Yet hither comes, poor soul, in her degree, this other seat half forced to supply. But twixt their state what difference will be, yourselves shall judge and witness when you see. Therefore I must go deck up handsomely, what best beseems Dame Fortune's dignity.
Postilion, stay, thou drugg'st on like an ass. Lo, here's an inn which I cannot well pass. Here we will bait and rest ourselves a while.
Why, sir, you have to go but 6 small mile. The way is fair, the moon shines very bright. Best now go on, and then rest for all night.
Tush, postil, fair or foul, or far or near, my weary bones must needs be rested here.
'Tis but a poultry inn, there's no good cheer. Yet shall you pay for all things passing dear.
I care not for all that. I love mine ease.
Well, sir, a God's name, then do what you please.
Knock then at the gate.
Oh, who's at home? Ostler, Chamberlain, Tapster. Oh, take in, gentlemen. Knave, slave, host, hostess, ho. What, is there none that answers? Tutela more. Sir, you must make entrance at some other port, for here's no passage.
No? Let me come. I'll knock a little harder. Here I must in, for sure I will no farther. Ho, who dwells here? I'll call on the women another while. Ho, butter wench, dairymaid, nurse, laundress, cook, host, hostess, anybody! Ho!
Who's there?
Up, sir, with a horse nightcap. What, are you all in a drunken dream? Can you not hear?
Not a word more. He is fast asleep again, I fear. What ho?
Oh, no!
How now? Now the devil take thee! Can calling nor knocking nor nothing awake thee?
No, sir. What lackey?
Lodging.
What are he?
Gentlemen, seest thou not?
Whence come he?
What skills that? Open the gate.
Nay, soft a while, I am not wont so late to take in guests. I like ye not, away.
Nay, stay a while, mine host. I pray thee stay. Open the gate, I pray thee heartily, and what we take, we will pay thee royally.
And would ye have lodging then?
Yea, rather than my life.
Then stay a while, I'll first go ask my wife.
Nay, nay, send her rather to me. If she be a pretty wench, we shall soon agree.
Now a bot's on him and his wife both for me.
Hey, then you would have lodging belike.
Yea, I prithee come quickly.
What's your name, and please you?
Prodigality.
And will you indeed spend lustily?
Yea, that I will.
And take that ye find patiently?
What else?
And pay what I ask willingly?
All reckonings unreasonably.
Well, go to. For this once I'm content to receive ye. Come on, sir. I dare say you're almost weary.
Thou mayst swear it.
O most unhappy state of reckless humane kind! O dangerous race of man, unwitty, fond, and blind! O wretched worldling, subject to all misery! When fortune is the prop of your prosperity, can you so soon forget that you have learned of yore the grave divine precepts, the sacred wholesome lore that wise philosophers with painful industry have written and pronounced for man's felicity? Whilom it hath been taught that fortune's hold is tickle, she bears a double face, disguised, false, and fickle. Full fraughted with all sleights, she playeth on the pack. On whom she smilest most, she turneth most to the rack. The time hath been when virtue had the sovereignty of greatest price, and placed in chiefest dignity. But topsy-turvy now the world is turned about. Proud fortune is preferred, poor virtue clean thrust out. Man's sense so dulled is, so all things come to pass, above the massy gold to steam the brittle glass.
Madam, have patience. Dame Virtue must sustain until the heavenly powers do otherwise ordain.
Equity, for my part, I envy not her state, nor yet mislike the meanness of my simple rate. But what the heavens assign, that do I still think best. My fame was never yet by fortune's frown oppressed. Here, therefore, will I rest in this my homely bower, with patience to abide the storms of every shower.
By Gog's walls, these old stumps are stark tired. Chavery here round about for life conquered, where any posting nags were to be hired and can get home when they were all vired. The cham come too late for money. I hold a penny. Suitors to fortune, there are so many and all for money. She'll gauge around some. Money's gone before tenacity come. And I am dressed, even to my utter shame, a full return, like as a fool I came. Cham short chave come 40 miles and 20 with all these bags you see. Well, it's empty. But with chave suit to fortune, fine and dainty, I hope to fill them up with money plenty. Hey, here's one, of whom Ike will conquer, will wait she may attain to my desire. Godspeed, my son.
What, Father Crust? Whither post you so fast?
Nay, bow lady son, I can make no haste. For shame is say to thee, cham tide clean.
More shame for you to keep your ass so lean. But whither go you now?
To a goodly lady whom they call her Fortune.
And wherefore?
For money's on, but Ike there she come too late.
Indeed, it seemeth by thy beggar's state thou hast need of money. But let me hear, how or by whom thinkst thou to get this gear?
She'll speak her there, she'll make low courtesy.
That's somewhat, but how wilt thou come at her?
But Lady Zon, that's true, there lies the matter. She'll make some friend.
Whom?
Some man of hers that near her doth attend.
Who is that?
I know not, should that unqueer of thee, and therefore, if thou knowest, tell it me.
What, in such haste, forsooth, so suddenly, and so good cheap, without reward or fee?
Poor man, dear Zon, must crave of courtesy. Get I once money, thou shalt rewarded be.
Go to then, I'll tell thee. His name is Vanity.
And where is he?
No more ado, ask but for Vanity. Reward him well, he'll help thee to money.
But where?
Why here, in this place? This is Lady Fortune's palace.
Is this? Ah, goodly lord, how gay it is. Now, hope I sure of money not to miss. So long, my son, I will go rest myself a while, and come again.
Do so. Now sure this coistrel makes me smile, to see his greedy gaping thus for gain. First hardly got, then kept with harder pain, as you ere long by proof shall see put full plain.
This is mine, old inn. Here it shall knock. Hallo!
What roystra have we there that rappeth so?
Now, Sirrah, what lack you?
Lodging.
Lodging? There is none. All is full.
How so?
Ta'en up by gentlemen long ago.
Let me yet have some room for mine ass.
Asinus super asinum, volitat ad furtas.
Who's that thou pratest there withal?
Look forth and see, a lubber, fat, great and tall, upon a tired ass, bare, short and small.
Ho, ho, 'tis Tenacity, my old acquaintance, and to my wife of near alliance, Father Tenacity.
Mine host, God speed you. How do you? Take an Ostler.
Anon, sir.
Chamberlain, wait upon my kindred here.
I will, sir.
As light as a fly in pleasant jollity, with mirth and melody, sing money, 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 money the minion of the spring of all joy, money the medicine that heals each annoy, money the jewel that man keeps in store, money the idol that women adore, that money am I, the fountain of bliss, whereof whoso tasteth doth never miss. Money, 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 sing money, money, money.
What, money? Sing you so lustily?
I have none other cause, who would not sing merrily, being as I am in such felicity. The god of this world, so mighty of power, as makes men and mars men and all in an hour. Yea, where I am is all prosperity, and when I want is naught but misery.
Money saith reason, for so doth it fare. Money makes masteries, old proverbs declare. But money, of fortune, our sovereign dame, what news?
Marry, sir, of purpose hither came to let thee know she will forthwith be here, and lo, already, see, she doth appear.
'Tis true. Now must I show my diligence. Down, ladies, stoop, do your reverence.
Reverence, do reverence, fair dames, do reverence unto this goddess great, do humble reverence, fortune of worldly state, the governess, fortune of man's delight, the mistress, fortune of earthly bliss, the patroness, fortune, the spring of joy and happiness. Lo, this is she, with twinkling of her eye, that misers could advance to dignity, and princes turn to misers' misery. Reverence, due reverence.
Report hath spread that virtue here in place arrived is, her silly court to hold, and therefore I am come with faster pace to encounter her, whose countenance is so bold. I doubt not, but by this my pompous shoe, by vestures wrought with gold so gorgeously, by reverence done to me of high and low, by all these ornaments of bravery, by this my train that now attends me so, by kings that hail my chariot to and fro. Fortune is known, the queen of all renown, that makes that Mars sets up and throws her down. Well is it known what contrary effects twixt fortune and Dame Virtue hath been wrought. How still I her condemn, she me rejects. I her despise, she setteth me at naught. So as great wars are grown from sovereignty, and strife as great twixt us for victory, now is the time of trial to be had, the place appointed eke in presence here. So as the truth to all sorts, good and bad, more clear than light shall presently appear. It shall be seen what fortune's power can do, when virtue shall be forced to yield thereto. It shall be seen when virtue cannot bide, but shrink for shame her silly face to hide. Then fortune shall advance herself before, all harms to help, all losses to restore. But why do I myself thus long restrain? From executing this I do intend. Time posts away, and words they be but vain. For deeds indeed our quarrel now must end. Therefore in place I will no longer stay, but to my stately throne myself convey. Reverence, due reverence, etc.
How seldom is it seen that virtue is regarded, or men of virtuous sort for virtuous deeds rewarded. So wonts the world to pamper those that not deserve, while such as merit best without relief do starve. Great imperfections are in some of greatest skill, that colors can discern not white from black, good from ill. O blind effects of men, how are you led awry, to leave assured gods, to like frail vanity? If some of virtue's train, for prince and country's good, to show their faithful hearts, shall hazard life and blood, the guerdonless depart, without their due reward. Small is the encouragement, the example very hard. Where any well deserve, and are rewarded well, where prince and people both in safety sure do dwell, where he that truly serves hath nothing for his pain, more hearts are lost than pecks of gold can ransom home again. Let states therefore that wish to maintain stately dignity seek to acquaint themselves with liberality, for that is it that which wins the subject's faithful love, which faithful love all harms from them and theirs remove. Liberality am I, virtue's steward here, who for the virtuous sort do nothing hold too dear. But few to virtue seek, all sorts to fortune fly, there seeking to maintain their chief prosperity. For whoso marks the end shall be enforced to stay. Oh, fortune, thou art blind, let virtue lead the way. But who comes here? It seemeth old Tenacity. I must away, for contraries cannot agree.
Since she see there is no other boot, she'll now take pains to go the rest afoot. For Brock, mine ass, is saddle pinch well sore, and so am I. Even here, she'll say no more. But yet, I must my business well apply, for which Ike came. This is to get money. Just told this lady's fortune's place. She'll go boldly to her. That's a flat case. For if she speed not now, at this first glance, I'm sure to be dashed quite out of countenance by certain lusty gallant lads hereby, seeking fortune's favor as well as I. I knew I were to find Mass Vanity, fortune's servant. Of mine honesty, look where he comes in time as fair and fine and trim, as if she held him all this while by the chin.
'Tis he indeed. What say you to him?
Marry, sir, shall now come for money.
For money, man? What, still so hastily?
You by gist, sir, 'tis high time she vore you. Cham averred another were at afore me.
Why so? Who is it that thou fearest? Tell me.
Marry, sir, they call him Masked Prodigality.
Prodigality? Is it true? Young? Wasteful, roisting prodigality, to encounter old, sparing, covetous, niggard tenacity? Sure, such a match as needs must yield us sport. Therefore, until the time that prodigality resort, I'll entertain this crust with some device. Well, father, to be sped of money with a trice, what will you give me?
Chavour thee, son, do rid me quickly hence. She'll give thee a fair piece of 3 halfpence.
Indeed.
Here's my hand.
Now, sir, in sooth you offer so bountifully, as needs you must be used accordingly. But tell me, know you him that cometh here?
Cockboars, 'tis prodigality, 'tis he I did fear. Chammerfield she may go, whistle now for money.
Tush, man, be of good cheer, I warrant thee. He speedeth best, that best rewardeth me.
Sir, now your reckoning is made even. I'll trust no more.
No?
No, sure.
Set cock on hoop, then. By some means, good or bad, there is no remedy, but money must be had. By the body of an ox, behold here, this ass will be my familiar wheresoever I pass. Why, Goodman Crust, tell me, is there no nay, but where I go, you must forestall my way?
By Gog's flesh and his flounder, sir, she hope the Queen's highway is free for every man, for thee as me, for me as thee, for poor tenacity as for proud prodigality. She'll go in the Queen's peace about my business.
This way?
Yeah.
To whom?
To Vautrin, my mistress.
Wherefore?
That's no matter for you.
No matter, sir, but by your crustship, ere you go, 'tis a plain case prodigality will know, and therefore be round, come off, and tell me quickly.
And thou so vain, no, che go for money.
Out upon thee, villain, traitor, thief, pick purse, thou penurious knave, caterpillar, and what's worse, hadst thou heard me say that for money I went, and couldst thou creep so closely my purpose to prevent, by the life I live, thou shalt die the death. Where shall I first begin, above or beneath? Say thy prayers, slave.
How now, my friends? What needs this variance? Money comes not by force, money comes by chance. And sith at one instant you both seek for money, appeal both to fortune, and then shall you try whether either or neither may hit to have money.
Gentlemen, you say well. I know not your name, but indeed for that purpose to fortune I came, for furtherance whereof, if I might obtain your friendly help, I would quit your pain.
I'm your old acquaintance, sir. Remember me.
Thee, quotha? For thy large offers I may not forget thee. Ye be both my friends, and therefore indifferently I will commend you both to fortune's courtesy. Lady most bright, renowned goddess fair, unto thy stately throne here do repair 2 suitors of 2 several qualities, and qualities indeed that be mere contraries. That one is called wasteful prodigality, the one clept covetous tenacity. Both at once unto your royal majesty most humbly make their suits for money.
Let's hear what they can say.
Divine goddess, behold, with all humility, for money I appeal unto thy deity, which, in high honour of thy majesty, I mean to spend abroad most plentifully.
Sweet mistress, grant to poor tenacity the keeping of this golden darling money. She'll vow to thee so long as life shall dure, upon strong lock and key, she'll keep him fast and sure.
Nay, pleaseth then your pleasant fantasy to hear them plead in musical harmony.
It liketh me.
None better.
Well, though my singing be but homely, she'll sing and spring too, and should lose money.
Well, to it, a god's name. Let saying go then, and each sing for himself the best that he can.
The princely heart that freely spends relieves full many 1,000 more. He getteth praise, he gaineth friends, and people's love procures therefore. But pinching fist that spareth all, of due relief the needy robs. Naught can be caught where naught doth fall, there come no good of greedy cobs. This issue therefore do I make, the best deserver draw the stake.
Whilst thou dost spend with friend and foe, at home cheer the hold the plough by the tail. Che dig, che del, che set seeds out, che mow, che reap, che ply my flail. A pair of dice is thy delight, that lives for most part by the spoil. I truly labor day and night to get my living by my toil. Chill therefore sure, this issue make, the best deserver draw the stake.
Hello, satis disputatum.
Nay, by my father's soul friend, now shave once begun, let him to it, she passed not when she done.
Lo, lady, you have heard our reasons both expressed, and thereby are resolved, I hope, who merits best.
Dame Fortune dealeth not by merit, but by chance. He hath it but by hap, whom Fortune doth advance. And of his hap, as he hath small assurance, so in his hap likewise is small continuance. Therefore, at a venture, my dear son Money, I do commit you unto prodigality.
To prodigality? Ah, poor Money, I pity thee. Continual unrest must be thy destiny. Ex day, ex hour, yet every minute toast, like to a tennis ball from pillar to post.
I am where I like.
And is there no other remedy? Must poor Tenacity put up the injury?
Your time is not yet come.
When will it come, shall ye?
At the next turning water, happily.
And che wist that, should the more quietly depart, and there keep there while a hungry hoping heart? How sayest thou, friend, Vanity?
No doubt, but 'tis best.
And farewell to all at once.
Good night and good rest. And now will I likewise with my sweet Money go hunt abroad for some good company. Vanity, for thy pains, I will not grease thy fist peltingly with 2 or 3 crowns. But when thou list, come boldly unto Prodigality's chest, and take what thou wilt. It's ever open.
I thank you, sir. 'Tis honourably spoken.
Oh, yet ere I go, with song of joyfulness let me to Fortune show my thankfulness. Thou that dost guide the world by thy direction, nope, that didn't work. I'm so sorry. I was not expecting this one. Thou that dost guide the world by thy direction, thou that conquer states to thy subjection, thou that dost keep each king in his correction, thou that preservest all in thy protection, for all thy gifts unto thy majesty I yield both thanks and praise immortally. Sweet Money, minion that sails with all winds, sweet Money, the minstrel that makes merry all minds, sweet Money that gables of bondage unbinds, sweet Money that maintains all sports of all kinds. This is that sweet Money that rules like a king and makes me all praises of money to sing.
Now, if faith, ye little peevish harlotry, I'll one day make you spit your meat more handsomely. By my truth, truly had I not come in the rather, she had laid me to the fire the loin of veal and capon both together, not weighing, like an unwitty girlish mother, that the one would ask more roasting than the other, so that either the veal had been left stark raw, or else the capon burnt, and so not worth a straw. And that had been pity, for I assure you at a word, the better bird, a fairer bird, a finer bird, a sweeter bird, a younger bird, a tenderer bird, a daintier bird, a crispier bird, a more delicate bird was there never set upon any gentleman's board. But I lack my guests that should pay for this gear, and sure my mind gives me I should find them here. Two of mine acquaintance, familiar grown, the third to me yet a gentleman unknown, more than by hearsay that he is fresh and lusty, full of money, and by name Prodigality. Now, sir, to link him sure to his hostess Dandaline, Dandaline must provide to have all things very fine, and therefore already it is definitum. The gentleman shall want nothing, may please his appetitum. And because most meats unsauced are motives to drouth, he shall have a lemon to moisten his mouth. A lemon, I mean, no lemon, I trow. Make heed, my fair maids, you take me not so. For though I go not as grave as my grandmother, yet I have honesty as well as another. But hush now, shall I hear some news?
Fellow Tomkin, I think this world is made of flint. There's neither money nor wares worth money in't.
Hold thy peace, Dick. It cannot still keep in this stint. We are now lighted upon such a mint as, follow it well, I dare warrant thee, thy turn shall be served in every degree.
Dick, boy, mine own boy, how dost thou? What cheer?
What, Dandaline, mine hostess, what make you here?
I came of purpose to inquire for thee.
And I came of purpose to seek prodigality.
What? He told me of? What? He you told me of? Indeed, is it he?
I of my fidelity.
A good boy of mine honesty. But when come ye?
As soon as I can find him.
Seek him, good Dick, and find him speedily. For this, I assure ye, your supper is ready.
Go home before, make all things very fine.
I will. Farewell.
Farewell.
Farewell to Tomkin too?
Farewell, sweet Dandaline.
But hear ye, bring him.
Who?
Tush, a God's name, you know who. I mean the gentleman.
Go to. Tom, now to the purpose where first we began.
Cast care away, Dick, I'll make thee a man.
A gospel in thy mouth, Tom, for it never went worse. Master Money hath left me never a penny in my purse.
'Twill be better, Dick. Shalt see very shortly.
I pray thee, tell me, is this brave Prodigality so full of money as he is said to be?
Full, quotha, he is too full, I promise thee.
And will he lash it out so lustily?
Exceedingly, unreasonably, unmeasurably.
Then may such mates as we that be so bare hope some way or other to catch a share.
Assure thyself that. But whist, he cometh here. Let's entertain him with familiar cheer.
In order then, bravely.
How is't, my sweet Money? Shall we be lusty now?
As lusty as you will. I'll be as lusty as you.
Who lacks money? Oh, who lacks money? But ask and have money. Money. Money!
Sir, here be they that care not for your money, so much as for your merry company.
And company it is I seek, assuredly.
Then here be companions to fit your fantasy, and all essays to answer your desire, to go, to run, to stay, to do as you require.
What can I wish more? Well, then, I pray, what sports, what pastimes shall we first essay?
Marry, first, sir, we both pray you heartily to take a poor supper with us here hard by, where we will determine by common consent what pastimes are fittest for us to frequent.
I grant.
Then, if you please, with some sweet roisting harmony, let us begin the utas of our jollity.
Thou hitst my hand pat. Money, what sayest thou?
I say that I like it. Go to it, pray you.
Shall I begin?
Yea.
Then surely it shall be to thee, for thee, and in honour of thee. Sweet Money, the minion that sails with all winds, sweet Money, the minstrel that makes merry minds. Flitzalaknops!
The more a man with virtuous dealing doth himself inure, the less with worldly business he is molested sure. Which maketh proof that as turmoils still toss the worldly mind, so minds exempt from worldly toil desired quiet find. And chiefly, where the life is led in virtuous exercise, there is no toil, but ease and contention and contentation to the wise. But what account, how slight regard is had of virtue here, by actions on this worldly stage most plainly doth appear. Men see without most just desert of virtue naught is God. To fortune, therefore fly they still, that giveth all by lot. And find in fortune's gifts so pleasant, sweet, and savory, they build thereon as if they should endure perpetually. But this is sure, and that most sure, that fortune is unsure, herself most frail, her gifts as frail, subject to every shower. And in the end, who buildeth most upon her surety, shall find himself cast headlong down to depth of misery. Then, having felt the crafty sleights of fortune's fickle train, is forced to seek by virtue's aid to be relieved again. This is the end, run how he list, this man of force must do. Unless his life be clean cut off, this man must come unto. In time, therefore, man might do well to care for his estate, lest, leaded by extremity, repentance come too late.
Sir, I beseech you, speak a good word for me to the prince, that by her letters I may be commended to some province where service is to be had, either there to die with fame, or else to get me somewhat whereon to live without shame. For beg I cannot, and steal I must not. In truth the truth is so. But need doth make the proverb say, the old wife to trot for woe. Yet whom stark need doth pinch, at length the devil drives to go. Therefore I beseech you, pity his extremity that would not make this suit without necessity.
Who be you, my friend?
By birth, a gentleman, by profession, a soldier who, though I say it, in all our sovereign's war, with hazard of my blood and life, have gone as far, and haply some others, whose fortunes have been better. But I in service yet could never be a getter. Nay, can I impute it but to mine own destiny? For well I know the prince is full of liberality.
What is your name, sir?
My name is Welldone.
Are you Captain Welldone?
Though unworthy, sir, I bear that name.
Give me your hand, Captain Welldone, for your fame in feats of arms and service of your country I have heard oft. You have deserved greatly. Therefore think this that, as you merit much, so the consideration thereof shall be such, as duly doth pertain to your desert. Trust me, the prince herself, unmoved of my part, your dutiful service hath specially regarded, and expressly commands that it be well rewarded. Wherefore you shall not need to seek service abroad. I exhort you at home still to make your abode, that if in this realm occasions of war be offered, you and others your like may be employed.
My duty binds me to obey.
Then for this time you shall not need to stay. As for your cause, I will remember it, and see it holpen too, as shall be fit. Truly, if I should not have care of this man's necessity, I should both swerve from virtue and from honesty.
Sir, I humbly beseech you, help to prefer my suit.
What is it?
This is an office phone which I would gladly execute.
Who be you?
A servant here in court.
Do you serve the prince?
No, and please you.
Whom then?
A nobleman near about her majesty.
In what degree?
Forsooth, sir, as his secretary.
How long have you served?
A year or two twain.
And would you so soon be preferred? In sooth, my friend, I would be glad as I may to do you any good, but this I say, who seeks virtue preferment to attain, in virtuous proceeding must take more pain than can be well taken in a year or twain, for time gives experience of every man's deeds, and each man by merit accordingly speeds. Go forward, my friend, in virtue with diligence, and time for your service shall yield you recompense. Your lord and master is very honorable, and him in your suits you shall find favorable. And as for my part, as erst I did say, I never will hinder where further I may. Let this for the time be your answer.
Sir, with my boldness, I beseech you to bear.
God be with you. Some men deserve, and yet do want their due. Some men again on small deserts do sue. It therefore standeth princes' officers in hand, the state of every man rightly to understand, that so by balance of equality, each man may have his hire accordingly. Well, since Dame Virtue unto me doth charge of many things refer, I must go do the best beseems a faithful officer.
Liberty, liberty, now I cry, liberty, catch me again when you can, prodigality, it never was their poor soul, so cruelly handled. I was at the first, like a cockney dandled, stroked on the head, kissed, and well cherished, and so I thought I surely should have continued, but how is my case altered suddenly? You would not believe unless you saw it apparently. In faith, since you saw me, I have been turmoiled from post to pillar. See how I am spoiled. The villains among them provided the roast, but money was forced to pay for the cost, both of their feasting and of their chamber cheer. Yet in every place they have fleeced me so near, hey a fleece and she a fleece, that nothing I could keep but glad to run away like a newborn sheep. And though I have been pinched very, very, very near, I am glad to see you in good health, everyone here. And now I have escaped the traitorous treachery of such a thriftless, roisting company. To my mother in haste again I will get me, and keep it home safely, and from thence let them fet me.
What, Master Money? How goeth the world with you?
Look but upon me. Thou mayst quickly judge how.
Why, where the vengeance, where the devil hast thou been? Among brambles, or briars, or spirits? Sure, I ween.
Both weened and wotted. I have passed a wilderness of most mischievous and miserable distress. Sharp brambles, sharp briars, and terrible scratchers, bears, wolves, apes, lions, most ravening snatchers, thorns, thistles, and nettles, most horrible stingers, ravens, gripes, and griffins. Oh, vengeful springers! Yea, through all my whole passage, such damnable sights as cannot but judge of the most damnable sprites. Laugh ye, my friend, it is no laughing toy.
But who did guide you in this labyrinth of joy?
Who, sir? Your minion, sir, Prodigality, the captain elected of all roisting knavery. He will be hanged, I warned him shortly. Yes, go to, laugh on.
Are you not a cuckold?
I may be indeed. My clothes be but thin, and therefore I will even go get me in that fortune my mother may clothe me anew.
Do so. You had need so, I may say to you. Now sure it is a world of worlds to see how all the world inclines to vanity. Men seek at first, that is but vanity, and lose at last, that was but vanity, and yet continue still to follow vanity, as though it were a thing of certainty. And I, that bear the name of vanity, and see the world's exceeding vanity, in following so the tracks of vanity, the triumph still amid my empery, and laugh at their simplicity, that will be so misled by vanity. But who is this? Oh, I know him, a scholar of our trade. 'Tis Hobberclunch that comes for money again.
Godspeed, Master Vanity.
Welcome, Master Tenacity.
Sir, Cham come once again for money.
So methinks.
Shall be sped now at length, trow you?
I cannot tell ye, 'tis hard to say. Peradventure yea, peradventure nay.
How so, man?
I fear me you will spend him too fast away.
Dost thou fear that, friend Vanity? Shalt not need man, just keep him safe, she warrant thee. That shad hem in my clutches, shouldest see I trow, whether it should keep him vast and safe or no. I pray thee, good sweet Master Vanity, speak one good word for poor Tenacity.
And dost thou need indeed so well love money?
Do my wife's bees at home, thinkest thou, love honey?
What wouldst thou do with it? Should what should?
Do no harm.
Nor much good, I think, too great nor small. But well, put case, I procure thee to speed. You will remember your promise that I shall be feed.
That was vast, man. Yeah, she'll do it. Yeah, she'll do it.
Stand there a while and wait. Bright goddess, behold here again Tenacity, that humbly makes his suit to have money.
For money, oh there, money finds himself well. Money now hath no liking from fortune to dwell.
In vanum nabolaverant come.
Now, good suit, honey, there golden mistress, let poor Tenacity taste of thy goodness. Thee che honor, thee che serve, thee che reverence, and in thy help she put my whole confidence.
Money, you must go to him. There is no remedy.
Yea, and be used as before with prodigality.
Let prodigality go to the gallows tree. Why, man, he and I are clean contrary. I she'll call thee, she'll cuss thee.
So did he.
She'll save thee, she'll spare thee, she'll keep thee from wasting.
So did not he. Go to then, seeing that my mother's will is such, to put it in adventure I may not grudge.
Oh, my sweeting, my darling, my chew, my joy, my pleasure, my treasure, mine own pretty boy.
How now? What mean you by this, Tenacity?
Forbid me not to kiss my sweet money. Very well, Fortune, and Fortune, she thank thee our way. Come on, Sarah, she'll make you vast, Bombay.
What, with ropes? What means that?
Forbid me not to kiss my sweet money. Vor of robbing by the highway. La mi fa so mi fa re mi.
Monstrous, vile, filthy luck. See, in the twinkling of an eye, scarce knowing which way, I have quite lost my money.
Out of all doubt, prodigality, he is not gone yonder way.
Then seek some other course. Make here no stay. He must be found out. There is no remedy. Thou know'st in one in what pickle we stand without money.
Why, sure, prodigality, it can be no other, but he is returned to fortune his mother.
Think'st thou so? Then thou, Fortune, hearest thou? By fair means, I advise thee, restore my money to me again. Deal plainly and wisely, or by this sharp-edged sword shalt see me play a proud part, for I will have him again, in spite of thy heart.
Whom have we there that keepeth such a coil?
Even he that will not put up such a foil.
What's the matter?
Vanity, to that dame thy mistress commend me. Tell her it doth not a little offend me to have my money in such great despite taken from me without any right. What, though it were once her own proper gift, yet given 'tis mine own. There is no other shift, wherefore charge her, in the name of prodigality, that he be restored to me incontinently, lest she repent it.
These be sore and cruel threatenings, Mary. Is your haste so great, and that by no means you may tarry?
I will not tarry, and therefore make haste.
Soft, sir, a little. There is no time past. You may tarry, you must tarry, for aught as I know. Nay, then you shall tarry, whether you will or no.
Swoon, sir, he mocks you.
Jibe not with me, you horse and rascal slave. For money I come, and money will I have. Sirrah, Vanity, Vanity. What? Vanity? Speak and be hanged. Vanity! What will it not be?
What a ponderous knave. What a slave is this?
Fortune! Fine Fortune! You minion, if ye be wise, bethink ye betimes. Take better advice, restore unto me my money quietly. Else look for wards. Vanity, Fortune, Vanity!
Sir, you see it booteth not.
It is but my ill luck. Now the devil and his dam give them both. Suck. What may we do? What counsel givest thou, Dick?
Marry, sir, be ruled by me. I'll show you a trick, how you may have him quickly.
As how?
Scale the walls, in at the window, by force fet him.
None better, in faith. Fetch a ladder, and I will set him. Fortune, thou injurious dame, thou shalt not by this villainy have cause to triumph over prodigality. Why speak'st thou not? Why speak'st thou not, I say? Thy silence doth but breed thine own hurt and decay.
Here is a ladder.
Set it to. Swoons! Help! Dick! Help quickly, or I am choked!
God, I'm not halter, or else you had been yoked.
Oh, thou vile, ill-favoured, crow-trodden thou abominable, blind, foul filth, is this thy wont? First, maliciously to spoil men of their goods, and then by subtle sleights thus to seek their blood? Bah! I abhor thee. I defy thee. Wheresoever I go, I do proclaim myself thy mortal foe.
News! Prodigality, news!
Good, and God will.
What good news, Tom?
I have met with money.
Where?
Mary, sir, he is going into a strange country with an old chuff called Tenacity.
Tenacity. Is that tinker's budget so full of audacity?
'Tis true.
May we not overtake him?
Yes, easily, with good horses.
Let's go then. For God's sake, we'll catch him in a trap.
Go.
We will go with you, whate'er shall hap.
O rotten rope, that thou must be so brittle! Hadst thou but happened to have held a little, I had taught my princocks against another time, so to presume Dame Fortune's bower to climb. To make such escape his hap was very good. Well, he 'scaped fair, I swear by the rood. But will you have me say my fantasy? Quod defitur, non ofitur, for assuredly the gentleman will never hold himself quiet till once more he come to taste of this diet. Mark the end.
Vanity!
Madam!
Is this roister gone?
Yea, madam, he's gone.
Then get thee anon, and cause my attendants to come away, for here as now I will no longer stay, but prosecute this foe of mine so fast, by mischiefs all I may, that at the last he shall arrive unto a wretched end, and with repentance learn how to offend a goddess of my state and dignity.
Lady, to do your will, I hasten willingly.
Dame Fortune's power, her most exceeding might, is known by this as an undoubted thing, since here most plainly hath appeared in sight, how all the world doth hang upon her wing, how high and low, of all states and degrees, do rise and fall again as she decrees. Then let not virtue think it scorn to yield to Fortune, chief of power, chief sovereignty. Sith Fortune here by proof hath won the field, subdued her foes and got the victory. For as she lists to favour, else to frown, she hoisteth up, or headlong hurleth down.
Madam, here are your vassals ready pressed to do the thing that Fortune liketh best.
Well then, come on to witness this our victory. Depart we hence with sound of fame triumphantly.
Reverence, due reverence.
Come on, my Vulcan, come on, my fat ox, come. Porkling, come on, come, pretty twattocks, why will it not be? Yet faster, a curtsy. This gentleman of late is waxen so pursy, and at every land's end he seeketh to rest him. How think he? Hath not Tenacity trimly dressed him?
Prodigality, if thou lovest me, let us here stay, for I cannot, sure I can do no more than may. I am out of breath, as weary as a dog.
A luskish lubber as fat as a hog.
Come up, gentle money, we may not here stay.
I must needs prodigality, there is no nay, for if I should stir 1 inch from the ground, I think I shall die for sure, or fall in a sound.
Then you must be drawn.
Drawn or hanged, all is one, for I cannot stir me. Oh, my breath is clean gone.
How like ye this grossome corpus, so mightily grown?
I like him the better that he is your own.
A more monstrous beast, a beast more unwieldy, since first I was born, yet never beheld I.
Indeed, the whoreson is waxen somewhat too fat, but we will find medicines to remedy that.
Sir, let me but have him a little in cure to put my poor practice of physic in your, and I dare warrant ye with a purgation or twain, I'll quickly rid him out of all his pain.
I think a glister were better.
Nay, rather a suppository.
Nay then, what say you to letting of blood?
I think that some of these should do him good. Ask the physician. Ask the physician.
Prodigality,
Oh,
I'm sick.
where, man?
Faith, here in my belly, it swells, I assure ye, out of all measure.
Take heed it grow not to a tympany.
And if it do, what the danger then?
A consumption.
A consumption? Marry, God forbid, man.
What think you now of Tenacity? Was he your friend or your foe?
Ah, that wretch Tenacity hath brought me to all this woe. 'Twas he, indeed, that sought to destroy me, in that he would never use or employ me. But Prodigality, sweet Prodigality, help to provide some present remedy. Let me not be thus miserably spilt. Ease me of this, and use me as thou wilt. Yet had I rather live in state bare and thin than in this monstrous plight that now I'm in. So fatty, so foggy, so all out of measure, that I myself take no kind of pleasure.
Why, rise up then quickly, and let us be gone.
Friends, you must help me. I cannot rise alone.
Come on, sweet money. We must have a mean to turn this foggy fat to a finer lean.
The sooner the better.
Nay, money, doubt not, but by sweat or by vomit, I warrant thee, boy, shortly thou shalt be rid from it.
Rid, quoth he, if shaving, or boxing, or scouring, or anointing, or scraping, or purging, or bloodletting, or rubbing, or paring, or chafing, or fretting, or aught else will rid it, he shall want no ridding. Come on, money, let's be jogging.
Thieves! Neighbours, thieves! Come forth! Beset the country!
Hark! List a while, what might that clamour be?
Zoons! We are undone, Prodigality. The constables come after with hue and cry.
Oh, Cerberus, what shall we do?
Stand back, lie close, and let them pass by.
Thieves! Thieves, oh vile, oh detestable deed! Thieves, neighbours, come forth, away, abroad with speed! Where dwell these constables?
Why? What's the matter, friend?
Why, thieves, man, I tell thee, come away!
Thieves, i'faith! Wife, my skull, my jack, my brown bill!
Come away quickly!
Dick, Tom, Will, ye whoresons, make ye ready or all ready and hustle. But let me hear how stands the case.
Marry, sir, hereby, not far from this place, a plain simple man riding on his ass, meaning home to his country and God's peace to pass, by certain roysters, most furious and mad, is spoiled and robbed of all that he had, and yet not contented when they had his money, but the villains had also murdered him most cruelly.
Good God, for his mercy.
It was to my hap to come then presently by him, and found him dead, with 20 wounds upon him.
But what became of them?
They fled this way.
Then, neighbour, let us here no longer stay, but hence and lay the country round about. They shall be quickly found, I have no doubt.
My lords, you see how far this worldly state perverted is, from good declined, inclined still to follow things amiss. You see but very few that make of virtue any price. You see all sorts with hungry wills run headlong into vice.
We see it oft. We sorrow much and heartily lament that of himself man should not have a better government.
The very beasts that be devoid of reason, dumb, dull, and dumb, by nature learn to shun those things whereof their hurt may come. If man were then but as a beast, only by nature taught, he would also by nature learn to shun what things are not. But man with reason is endued. He reason hath for stay, which reason should restrain his will from going much astray.
Madam, 'tis true, where reason rules, there is the golden mean.
But most men stoop to stubborn will, conquereth reason clean.
And will again to fancy yields, which twain be special guides that train a man to tread ill paths where ease and pleasure bides.
No ease, no pleasure can be good that is not got with pains.
That is the cause from virtue's love man's fancy still refrains.
And pains, I think, they feel likewise, that unto vice do bend.
They feel no doubt, but yet such pains come not before the end.
I grieve for man, that man should be of ill attempts so fain.
Grieve not for that. Evil tasted once turns him to good again.
Then will I take a cheerful mind, unpleasant thoughts expel, and cares for man commit to them that in the heavens do dwell.
Do so, dear madam, I beseech you most heartily, and recreate yourself before you go hence with some sweet melody.
If pleasure be the only thing that man doth seek so much, chief pleasures rest where virtue rules. No pleasures can be such. Though virtue's ways be very straight, her rocks be hard to climb, yet such as do aspire thereto enjoy all joys in time. Plain is the passage unto vice, the gaps lie wide to ill to them that wade through lewdness lake. The ice is broken still. This therefore is the difference. The passage first seems hard to virtue's train, but then most sweet at length is their reward. To those again that follow vice, the way is fair and plain, but fading pleasures in the end are bought with lasting pain. If pleasure be the only thing, etc. Now, my lords, I see no cause, but that depart we may.
Madam, to that shall like you best, we willingly obey.
Yet, lady, stay a while and hear of strange adventures.
Of what adventures tell you? Let us know.
Master Sheriff, oh, that is happened, do you make show?
Please you, the effect is this. There's a certain royster named Prodigality that long about this town hath ruffled in great jollity. A man long suspected of very lewd behavior, yet standing ever so high in fortune's favor, as never till now he could be bewrayed of any offense that to him might be laid. Now, wanting belike, he was wanted bravery, he thought to supply it by murder and robbery.
By murder and robbery?
Yeah, sure.
How?
This gallant, I tell you, with other lewd Franians such as himself on thrifty companions, in most cruel sort by the highway side assaulted a countryman, as he homewards did ride, that robbed him and spoiled him of all that they might, and lastly bereaved him out of his life outright.
Oh, horrible fact.
The country hereupon raised hue and try straightway. He is apprehended, his fellows fled away. I supplying, though unworthy, for this year, the place of an officer and sheriff of the shire, to my prince's use, has seized upon his money, and bring you the same according to my duty. Praying the party may have the law with speed, that others may be terrified from so foul a deed.
So horrible a fact can hardly plead for favor. Therefore go you equity, examine more diligently the manner of this outrageous robbery, and as the same by examination shall appear, due justice may be done in presence here.
It shall be done, madam.
I pray you, appoint some officer to take the money, that I may return again with equity.
Let it be delivered to my steward Liberality.
What, money? How come you to be so fat and foggy?
Surely, sir, by the old chuff, that miser Tenacity.
How so?
He would never let me abroad to go, but locked me up in coffers or in bags, bound me fast. Like a boar in a sty, he fed me at last. Thus Tenacity did spoil me for want of exercise. But Prodigality, clean contrariwise, did toss me and fleece me so bare and so thin that he left nothing on me but very bone and skin.
Well, money. Will you bide with him that can devise to rid you and keep you from these extremities?
Who is that?
Even myself, Liberality.
Sir, I like you well, and therefore willingly I am contented with you to remain, so as you protect me from the other twain.
I warrant thee, first from thy bands I'll set thee free, and after thy sickness cured shall be.
Thanks and obedience, and I yield and bow to Liberality.
My lord, according to your appointment and will, I come to attend your pleasure.
Have you brought your bill?
Yes, my lord.
Give it me. I'll be your mean unto the prince, that it may dispatch it be. The while take here these 100 crowns to relieve.
God save the Queen, and God save Liberality.
Sir, I have long served the prince at great expense, and long have I been promised a recompense. I beseech you consider of me.
What do you do? What do you serve without fee?
Yes, truly, sir.
Hold, pray for the Queen.
What shall be my prayer day and night, truly? God save the Queen, and God save Liberality.
Now, good my lord, vouchsafe of your charity to cast here aside your faithful eye upon a poor soldier, naked and needy, that in the Queen's wars was maimed, as you see.
Where have you served?
In France, in Flanders, but in Ireland most.
Under who?
Under Captain Welldone.
He was my soldier indeed, sir, until he lost his leg.
Hold, pray for the Queen.
God save the Queen, and God save Liberality.
Rome, my masters, give place, stand by. Equity hath sent me to let you understand that hither he will resort out of hand to sit upon the arraignment of Prodigality.
In good time.
Behold, he comes.
Now, Equity, how falls the matter out?
That Prodigality is guilty of the fact, no doubt. And therefore, for furtherance of justice effectually, my lord the judge comes to sit upon him presently, wherein we crave your assistance.
I'll wait upon you.
Rome, my masters, Rome for my lord, stand by.
Call for the prisoner.
Make an oyez, Crier.
Oyez! Oyez! Oyez!
Sheriff of Middlesex.
Sheriff of Middlesex!
Bring forth the prisoner.
Bring forth the prisoner!
Prodigality.
Prodigality!
Pain of the peril shall fall thereon.
Pain of the peril shall fall thereon.
Here, sir.
Prodigality, hold up thy hand. Thou art indicted here by the name of Prodigality, for that thou, the 4th day of February, in the 43 year of the prosperous reign of Elizabeth, our dread sovereign, by the grace of God, of England, France, and Ireland Queen, defender of the faith, blah, 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 etc., together with the other malefactors yet unknown, at Highgate in the county of Middlesex aforesaid, did feloniously take from one Tenacity of the parish of Pankridge, yeoman, in the same county, £1,000 of gold and silver sterling, and also how thyself, the said Prodigality, with a sword, price 20 shillings. Then and there Crawley did give the said Tenacity upon the head one mortal wound, whereof he is now dead, contrary to the Queen's peace, her crown and dignity.
How sayest thou, Prodigality, to this robbery, felony, and murder? Art thou guilty or not guilty?
My lord, I beseech you grant me counsel to plead my cause.
That may not be. It standeth not with our laws.
Well then, good my lord, let me some respite take.
Neither may that be. Thus doth the indictment lie. Thou art accused of murder and robbery, to which thou must now answer presently, whether thou be thereof guilty or not guilty.
Well, since there is no other remedy and that my facts fall out so apparently, I will confess. I am guilty, most humbly appealing to the prince's mercy.
Then what canst thou say for thyself, Prodigality, that according to the law thou shouldst not die?
Nothing, my lord, but still appeal to the prince's mercy.
Then hearken to thy judgment. Thou, Prodigality, by that name hast been indicted and arraigned here of robbery, murder, and felony against the laws committed by thee, the indictment whereof being read unto thee, here thou confessest thyself to be guilty therein, whereupon I judge thee to be had from hence to the place thou camest from, and from thence to the place of execution, there to be hanged till thou be dead. God have mercy on thee.
My lord, I most humbly beseech you to hear me.
Say on.
I confess I have run a wanton, wicked race, which now hath brought me to this woeful, wretched case. I am heartily sorry, and with tears do lament my former lewd and vile misgovernment. I find the brittle stay of trustless fortune's state. My heart now thirsteth after virtue. All too late. Yet, my good lord, of pity condescend to be a mean for him that meaneth to amend. The prince is merciful, of whose great merit full many have largely tasted already, which makes me appeal thereto more boldly.
Prodigality, I not mislike your wellful disposition, and therefore for you to the prince there shall be made petition, that though your punishment be not fully remitted, yet in some part it may be qualified.
God save your life!
Most mighty queen, yonder I sat in place, presenting show of chiefest dignity. Here prostrate low before your princely grace, I show myself such as I ought to be, your humble vassal, subject to your will, with fear and love your grace to reverence still.
The end. And I'm sure the Queen enjoyed it. Yes, so that's that at pace with all the attendant confusions and complications and things that we need to think about over the next 2 weeks. And that's the reason why we weren't trying to do what we have done in the past with these afternoon sessions, which is go into full costume and cameras on and off mode, because you know what, it would have been carnage. So we've got a lot to discuss off camera, but just general sense about the play itself and the way it flows. It certainly has a fair amount of pace. I mean, it's a shame that we don't have chariots in the room. You know, I think the audience who's watching this will have missed that. There's a certain amount of spectacle. There's a certain amount of detail about how someone is almost hanged. There's big questions about fortune, precisely where fortune is a lot of the time, because fortune's possibly on, just but you know, separate from everyone else, just waiting for their suitor to come to them. But sometimes it's a question of we might have them not on and then appear when they need to. It's a big question of what fortune is doing a lot of the time. We have all these people who want to get to Fortune, and of course Vanity acting as Fortune's agent, and sort of just no, you can't come in. Issues of Tenacity, dealing with the end of Tenacity there. Building that sense of place, making sure we know where we are, building that sense of location at the beginning, I think is going to be really important. So that's in there. Those first few minutes, as ever with any player, just going, where am I? What's going on? Who is everyone? And it does take quite a long time for that to click in. When it clicks in, I was with it, but it's really going to be those first 5 minutes, as with many plays, of getting a sense of the energy and the fun and the boldness of these characters and their sweep and things. Eric, you were having fun. I can tell you thought about what to do with money in terms of the whole Marlon Brando cheek thing. There,
cotton balls. It actually works. It's hard to talk afterwards, but
yeah.
I need a lot of water to get it out of my system in case I swallow it. But yeah,
Fiber in your diet.
All sorts of thoughts. Thoughts in the room. Comments. Lynn.
Well, looking at the cast list before we started, I thought, well, this is going to be really odd because we have this mix of abstractions like fortune and virtue and tenacity, which is kind of like miserliness thinking, and then the liberality versus prodigality. So, and with a handful of more ordinary characters like Tom and Dick and the host thrown in, and so I was like, and in practice, it was less jarring than I would have guessed. It just seemed to be like we went with it. So that was actually less weird than I anticipated.
Yeah, I mean, almost the problem is actually the names don't quite work for a modern audience. That tenacity is miserliness, and the liberality is in fact the middle ground. Whereas we hear the word liberality and we think they're going to be very liberal, whereas in fact they're the sort of middle way of reasonableness between prodigality and tenacity.
Generosity, but not excessive generosity. Yeah.
So yeah, that's sort of the problem that the play has in terms of, but it's our problem. It's not the play's problem in a sense, but it is one of those barriers to it. But once you've clicked into that, you're sort of fine. Vanity, I like Vanity. Vanity is a fascinating character. It's just sort of this who's just about a lot and just sort of working the wheels, oiling the wheels of things. Other thoughts in the room? I'm sort of prompting here. I'm just trying to see. Helen.
Yeah, I mean, I see this completely differently from everybody else because I'm spending my entire time trying to work out who everybody is in terms of the Elizabethan court, because I'm absolutely convinced that I mean, obviously, liberality is the Earl of Essex. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Who the others are, I'm not quite so sure, but they're all very pointed, I think.
The problem with that kind of exercise...
I'm not suggesting that we take any notice of what I've just said. I'm just throwing it in.
But the problem is that he could appear in several different guises. This is the problem, is that just because you find one parallel doesn't mean that there won't be other parallels in other characters for the same person. That's always the thing, is you say this person is this person or this person is that person. Those references absolutely would be layered over this, I'm sure. Whether the author intended them or not. I mean, that's the other thing, is sometimes texts gather different meanings depending on the context when they're performed.
Yeah, all right.
Though the odds on this was performed at a very specific time, around 1601, and probably only a few times. So it's very much of its time and place in that sense. Elizabeth.
Yeah, I loved this second look. I wanted to just say that the songs really added something special to the play. They really bring the play to life. I love the accents for the different characters. And I think I love Dan's handling of that accent, because I could barely read it, and he just managed to make it slip off his tongue really well. And I really liked Briony's accent as well, but I loved the whole cast. But the songs and the singing was just fantastic.
Yeah, prepared or otherwise, some of them came as a surprise to us. It's just going, oh bugger, haven't actually assigned that song to anyone. I mean, it's the fact that Fortune. I mean, Elizabeth, you were, probably enjoying that, because a lot of the songs are about how great you are.
Yeah.
It's nice to have your own theme tune and backing singers bringing you on. So I keep appealing for that in my life, but it never seems to happen.
Reverence.
Yeah. Eric.
I was gonna say that, is this a play or is this a musical? Because when I was reading it, reading to sort of semi-prepare for things I was not really prepared for. There was a part of me going, this is totally a musical, isn't it? Like the 16th century version.
Yeah. It is. It's music theatre. Of whichever genre you wish to give it in that sense. Yeah. Music's all the way through it, and it's all fabulous. Fabulousness is important. Vanity does, of course, need. I think Vanity needs feathers. Is that the?
Yes.
I don't know if you have a feather boa, but you've got 2 weeks.
I'm sure there are vendors in Francis's part of the world who can supply.
Yeah, there's a party stall. I think I can acquire a cheap-looking feather boa.
I mean, it's one of those things that is a technical note, really, about the way the script's laid out. Is the sense that actually almost all of our entrances need to be before actually anyone mentions that you're there. So you're already on. You've got business to do before you then start speaking, and that's a much more important business for when we're switching cameras on and off for next time. Is that arriving early is almost always de rigueur. There are a few occasions where you don't want to arrive early, but a lot of the time you do. And actually, I've been making a lot of notes about how that would function, actually. And that's a big question we need to resolve in the next 2 weeks, is, precisely who is where and when at certain times. Dan?
I have to say that Alexandra had handled her stage direction deftly with the hanging, because in fact, if you were to look at the original printing, it would have it indicated that she had already slipped it off, or not slipped it off, but had already broken before she had given her dialogue regarding being strangled there. So yes, I think you're absolutely right, Robin, which once again indicates what type of script this was, in that one needs to be careful to follow everything to the T in terms of stage directions, since it looks to have just been written and then printed off of something that didn't take into account when the practicalities of actually staging it.
Yeah, and then there's a couple of stage directions I've slightly moved around as well that actually were in the original printing. So all the rip-rap stuff is actually slightly misplaced. There's actually specific places where all of those rip-raps live, etc., or basically knocking on the door. It doesn't fundamentally matter. And that's the thing, is we can slightly fudge where things live as well. That's fine, because ultimately, again, we're still trying to give the general impression of it all. But it's the opportunity, assuming that we're all going to be here assembled in 2 weeks' time, which hopefully most of us will be, that we've got the opportunity to expand on the characters and make them bold. And I think there's a boldness to this text. I think it needs to be quite bold and really go for it, because I don't think it's on that socialist realist vein of drama. Just a feeling I have about the way it works. Other thoughts? Helen, then Eric.
I think the Crier would be more comic if the Clerk was rather restrained.
Yeah, or more importantly, the clerk just every time the crier goes, just goes. "Ah." It's almost like it's always a surprise, but mildly traumatized every single time. And the other thing is, just be wary of where we've got stage directions in our text. This is more again an off-screen note, but sometimes we've got a lot of instructional description, and just being aware that no, actually, make sure you're following the dialogue, because sometimes there are these big jumps that we've got when there's an awful lot of stuff going on. Eric, then Rachael, I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Thank you for giving me money, because it's such a fun role to play. Getting to whine about going through all the bears and the wolves, and it was so traumatic. But yeah, it was just fun to do.
Yeah, it's. I mean, a lot of the parts are random chance, but that's every so often I do is go right. Who's going to really enjoy figuring out the logistics of money? Rachael, then Alexandra.
No, it was just about the clerk thing. If the clerk had just a terrible hangover, headache.
Alka-Seltzer. Alexandra.
Yeah, on the Clerk, I think it's just the contrast of the two, as Helen was saying, I think is the thing that would would sell this tremendously. Say the thing, saying the thing, say the other thing, saying the other thing, that kind of thing. But the thing I wanted to mention was with money. I liked that what this play does is it gives money a level of innocence that I don't see, where money is conflated with the concept of how people feel about money. Yes, you would imagine him to have a different outlook on life, whereas the innocence of money in this particular context I really liked. And also I think it's one of those fun parts also, which gives us complications on in staging it on Zoom, but on stage you would get to have a lot of fun with this kind of inflation deflation, but in a literal sense.
Yeah, I mean, obviously on Zoom we're aiming to get our best. The idea of the play across is in a sense our primary aim. But yeah, one day this feels, especially if we can get some good music in place. This one does definitely feel like a fun one, and that sense I'm also making notes for third looks, in the sense of what minor adjustments would we like to do. Would we like to do some minor renamings as well, just to make sure some of those names land, and the message comes across, which history has slightly cheated this play of, in that sense, and those questions that we can discuss at greater length further down the line. All that remains, however, at this stage, unless there are any additional thoughts that we wanted to say in public, Eric, then Rachael.
I was going to say that, like, technically, the scene where both Prodigality and Tenacity are on stage and fighting over money, like, technically that's a tug of war over a person, but, like, you can't really do that on Zoom. Well, you can, but it requires a lot of rehearsal, I think.
It requires knowing precisely who switches their camera on at which point in which order, to make sure that you're framed in the correct way, which is not impossible, but might go wrong. Rachael.
No, just a comment on the character of Money, because I think in some other ones we've seen him as like a vice-like figure, and this one is so dramatically different. I don't know. It just seems a little new, or just different, and it sticks out for that it's not Money acting upon people as a vice figure, but being acted upon and being innocent and kind of not good or evil of itself.
Yeah, it's radically different from All for Money, where money is essentially the root of all sin, and is an agent of evil and chaos. Whereas here, the money is the victim. It's just, and has no control. I mean, you could almost, it's like he is the stock market, and it is, he can't control his own fluctuations. It's all down to those terrible traders who are doing terrible things to him. There's so many nice actual very resonant things that still land in this play, especially where money is concerned. And the general theme of the play still functions. And that excess in any direction is a bad thing. Moderation is a good thing. These are good general precepts that function even if the context is different. Okay. Any other thoughts before I close the session? Well, we will be returning to this, and we'll be returning to this with a bit more detail, a bit more oomph, and you're here, hopefully, to watch us as we progress towards a state of perfection. And as we progress to a state of perfection, all that remains is to thank all these wonderful, perfect people. Thank you very much, everyone, and goodbye.
Bye.
Rip, rap, rip.